I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Check out this video. This is, you might know some of these you might say once decent libs. I don't know what to call them anymore. But Al Gore, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, what they used to think about government waste.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not acting. There you go.
Alex, you are a world-class entertainer, and when you're writing a script, a movie or a sitcom or whatever it might be, the key line that they always tell you is show it, don't say it. And those guys just said it, but Donald Trump is showing it. That seems to be the difference.
Well, 100%. And you hear Obama talk about efficiency, government efficiency. That's the opposite of what Obama did in office. I mean, he made things so much less efficient. He made so many more problems. And he dropped a drone strike every, I think, 15 minutes for 8 years. He spent a lot of money on military spending. When if you really think about it, we have $1 trillion military budget. We could save some money right there, but maybe not blowing so many people up. And I know that might sound crazy because a lot of people have stock in Halliburton and Raytheon. But, for me, I'm a conflict interventionalist. I think that we could save a lot of money if we actually look into our military spending. We audit the Pentagon, and all this stuff potentially will happen under Trump presidency. But, so I'm happy.
By the way, Pete Hegseth is already saying that we're going to do that he's welcoming DOGE to come into the Department of Defense. And for anyone, I'm a strong military guy. I want a strong military so we don't have to use it. But military and technology has changed. You can do more with drones now. Maybe you don't need giant fleets of every ship and everything else, but let's not go off that. Jeffrey, again, it's like, man, what happened to those Democrats?
Thank you for showing those clips. I've realized I've changed my whole outlook on the world. I think if you had showed me those clips like 6 months ago, I might have thought, well, they tried to do their best, maybe. They had every good intention. Now I look at them and I think, marionettes. They're just, this is all just theater. And it's been theater for a good part of our lives. Ever since Doge and Trump have gotten, active on this whole thing, I'm seeing everything in a completely different way. You just want to scream at that press conference where Clinton's yammering on and Obama's yammering on. Listen, do you have access to the books? Can we bring in an outside auditor to look at what's going on in federal payments? What would they have said if a reporter had bothered to ask such a question? We didn't know until really last week, until earlier this week, that none of them really had access to any of the books, that it was a handful of civil servants that were looking at the payments coming and going, and that everything else is just rhetoric and political theater and really gibberish. Now we're seeing real change, and just the promise of it is so enormously exciting. And I love the way they're framing it. It's like, if the government is spending money on things that we don't need, then it shouldn't be spent on. They're robbing money from you.
Right.
You're paying your taxes out to these people. They are squandering your money. That is not justice. That is not liberty. That is not good finance. That is fraud and pillaging, and it has to stop. And this message is so powerful that, this is why Trump has, historically high approval ratings right now. And they're only going to get higher as long as they can stay on this message.
Right.
For
Well, that's
once,
what I
we're getting
love.
clarity.
That's what's so great here, because it's like they're pointing out, hey, there are people stealing from you, and they're defending the stealing right in front of your face. So it's like, okay, keep going hysterical, guys, because when the budget comes back and it is balanced, or inflation starts going down, or your taxes get lowered because the government doesn't need as much money, I think that's a pretty winning argument for the most part. Start the new year by learning something new. One of my favorite traditions is setting New Year's resolutions. It's a chance to start fresh, set meaningful goals, and tackle exciting challenges. This year, I encourage you to resolve to learn something new, and Hillsdale College makes it easier than ever. Hillsdale College is offering over 40 free online courses. Yes, you read that right. More than 40 courses absolutely free. I'm currently taking Constitution 101, the meaning and history of the Constitution, Hillsdale's most popular course. Over 12 lectures, you'll learn about the political theory of the American founding and how it's been challenged throughout history. You'll hear directly from Hillsdale's president, Larry Arnn, and their expert faculty on topics like the Declaration of Independence, the Civil War, the progressive rejection of the founding, and modern liberalism. The best part, the course is self-paced, so you can start whenever and wherever it fits your schedule. Take action today. Go to hillsdale.edu/Dave right now to enroll for free. It's quick, easy, and completely cost-free. That's hillsdale.edu/Dave. Start your journey to learning today.